All right, so Donut Dilemma 1 says use percent bars to answer the questions below. A box contains a dozen donuts. So that means an entire box would be 12 donuts. And our hint says start with 100%. So that's actually going to be question 4 is 100%. So this is my box, this whole thing here, and so or my percent bar. And so my percent bar over here I have 0%. So that means I don't have any. So if I have no donuts or 0% of donuts, then I have 0 donuts. If I have the entire box, that's 100%, and the entire box is going to be 12 donuts. And so it says here, find 100% of a box of donuts. Well, that's going to be the whole complete box. And so, of course, that is 12 donuts. And again, we can work this in any order we'd like. So I'm going to go ahead and jump to 50%. So I think that's the easier one to move to next. So I know if I were to take this percent bar, cut it in half, that would give me 50%. And so to get from 100 to 50%, this is a decrease. Since it's a decrease, I know I'm dividing. So I'm going to divide by 2 to get from 100 to 50. So if I do that on the bottom, I got to do the same thing on the top. 12 divided by 2 is 6, so my answer would be 6 donuts. From here, I know I can cut that 50% in half, and I could find 25%. So that's one way to do it. The other way is I know 25% as a fraction is 1/4, so I need to cut my box into 4 pieces. So 2 ways to look at it. And so I have my 50% here. I know that my half of my 50% is 25%. So to get from 50 to 25, I'm just dividing by 2. So I got to do the same thing on the top, dividing by 2. 50% was 6 donuts, I remember that. And so 6 divided by 2 is 3, so then 25% of a box is going to be 3 donuts. And if this doesn't make sense, watch a little bit of it, watch some more, and then once you think it starts making sense, go back, rewind the video, and then watch more of it or watch it again, and hopefully it'll make more sense the second time around. So now I can go, now that I know 25% and 50%, well, now I can find that other 75%, that other fourth. So 1/4, 2/4, and 3/4, which I know is 25%, 50%, and 75%. Well, I know 50% is 6, 25% is 3, and I have 2 ways to do it. I can either complete the pattern 0, 3, 6, something, 12, and I know that would be 9, or I could look, how do I get from 25% to 75%? Well, I can multiply by 3. So again, multiply by 3, and 3 times 3 is 9. So the pattern still holds true that way too. So 9 donuts, and that's not looking too great. 9 donuts. All right, so we did question 4. Question 5, 150%. This is going to be an increase. I need to add on plus 50%. Well, 50% is going to get me to 150, but we said 50% was 6 donuts, so I'm going to add 6 donuts. So 12 plus 6 is 18. That's going to be one way to do it. Another way would, first we can go down to 50%, and there we're dividing by 2. That gives me 50%, which is 6 donuts. And then from here we can go up to 150, which is multiplying by 3. So I got to do the same thing on the top. 6 times 3 is 18. So that works as well. So we got 2 ways of doing it. You can either find the pieces, add the pieces together, or you can just use your multiplicative relationships to find it there. So 18 donuts. Question number 6, find 200% of a box of donuts. Well, that's 0%, 100%, which is 12 donuts. I'm going to increase it to 200%. 100 to 200, multiplying by 2. 12 times 2 is 24, so that's going to be 24 donuts. 250%, so again, that's going to be an increase. So I know I'm multiplying 150%. So, oh no, I'm sorry, 250%. So I'm adding 150. I cannot do this. 150%. All right, so 150%, well, I already know what that was. I found it before. 150% was 18. So I know I'm going to add 18 donuts. 12 plus 18 is going to give me 30 donuts. So that's one way of doing this. The other way is first go to my 50. So I'm going to erase some of this so we can do it the other way. First go to my 50. And so to do that, I divide by 2. Do the same thing here. That gives me 6. Now from here, from my 50, I can go to my 250. 50 to 250, I'm going to be multiplying by 5. You know, this is getting messy because it's hard to write on the screen, but 6 times 5 is 30, and I'm going to get the same answer that way as well. All right, so 300% is an easy one. That's going to be an increase, so I will multiply. There's 12. To get from 100 to 300%, I'm going to multiply by 3. So to get from 12, multiply by 3, that will give me 36. So 36 donuts is 300% of a box. Question 9, we're almost there. 400%. Increase to 400%. To get from 100 to 400, I'm multiplying by 4. This is 12 donuts. I have to multiply by 4. 12 times 4 is 48. So that's going to give me 48. 48 donuts. And then 33 1/3. Well, that's same as 1/3. If I wanted to write 33 1/3% as a fraction, that's 1/3. I need to cut my box into 3 pieces. There's 0%, 33.3 repeating percent, 66.6 repeating percent, and my 100%. This is 12. I need to get to there. I'm going to divide by 3. Dividing because it's decreasing. Dividing by 3. 12 divided by 3 gives me 4, so then my answer is 4 donuts. And I know this was messy, it was rushed. Pause the video, rewind the video, go through it until you understand it. And hopefully this you found helpful.